steroids are like pumped into that stuff, Tyler?
Yeah, so great question. We're recording, by the way. Um,
Okay.
so as far as chicken and all that goes, I think the biggest thing is like what is going into the chicken. You know what I mean? I think everything is like I don't think everything is like good or bad, but you know what I mean? To scale like what are the chicken being fed, and most of it is bullshit like processed. They're kept in cages. If you look at the cows, you know what I mean? Like they're mostly kept in fear mongering places, they're kept in tight places, unless you're having pasture raised and they're out roaming and groaming. Most of the cows are in a state of fear, which means you're eating and taking on that fear, you're consuming that fear. And then a lot of times, if they're eating all that processed bullshit, you're taking that on. So I don't think that eating meat is necessarily a bad thing, but I think you have to question like where is the meat coming from? What is it eating? And what state of mind is it in? What state of frequency and vibration is it in? And what am I taking in? And how does it make me feel?
Bro, you mind blow me every time you talk. Like it just comes out of your mouth smoothly. It's just insane, bro. Because what you just said about the vibrations of frequency, I've never heard anyone say that it could possibly come from the food that you eat and where it comes from. So that's interesting. I like that.
What are you guys' thoughts about it? Because I know you guys are both like big gym heads, and
What was it? I'm not gonna lie, I missed part of the question just because the dog started going crazy.
it was a good question Savvy asked. Is like just kind of like it's like what do you think about like the meat, the process, kind of like meat, chicken, all that stuff, like kind of the food that we're taking on and eating.
Hmm. No, to tag off of what you were saying about the frequency and stuff, like the where the animal's at when it dies. Okay, is it like distressed or is it die of old age or does it is it in good setting and dies? Like that changes the frequency of whatever you're eating as well. So that's kind of where I'm at with it.
I
But you
heard
know, it's always crazy.
Do what?
You know, it's always crazy about those foods, bro. I've realized that like not buying, like Tyler was saying, where do our meat come from? Not buying grass-fed meat actually makes me more tired throughout the day when I eat grain-fed stuff. And I think it's clogging too mentally. I don't feel like I want to produce for the day. I don't feel like showing up. I feel like more depressed than usual. So I think for sure, whatever you eat or whatever it comes from, you got to make sure it comes from like a good, credible source that's not exploited with steroids and bad shiz.
no, I saw this. I used to love like bacon and all this, and then like apparently Muslims they don't eat pork, and I never understood that. And so like I started like looking into it, and I heard this one guy where he was like, "Hey, what does pork or what do cannibalists say pork tastes like?" Or what do cannibalists say human tastes like? And they say humans taste like pork. And so they're like, what the hell? And so they're saying some way, somehow in the Bible that humans, like, on their worst thing, they're like, God, please let me, like, don't send me to hell. Let me at least come back as a pig. And, like, if you think about it, pigs eat everything, like, literally metal, can, shit, like, every single worst thing. And then you're just eating that and putting it into your body. So it's like, that's one thing that I can't do anymore, honestly.
What about pig feet?
Mm-hmm.
No. I'm not gonna lie, every once in a while, like I'm not gonna really say like I'm a hardcore like I'm a vegetarian, you know what I mean? But like I try to watch what I eat, but gizzards, dude, I fucking love gizzards so much with hot
Mm.
sauce.
Can't do it. Can't do it.
That is hilarious.
No, but kind of I don't know if what's the best way of describing it? So like we wrote down some topics, Chris, we want to hit on.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna list off a few, and I want to dive into the Earthship since we're kind of talking about the food and all that.
Okay.
But we got Earthship, sustainable living, birth of AI, ChatGPT, Neuralink with Elon Musk, talking about AI. How do we want it to create the future? What do we want to create as humans?
Wait,
Few movies
what
made
was
sure.
the first one that you said? It was a what?
Oh, Earth. They're called Earthships. Like if you Google a picture or something real quick, it's pretty much like a home made of recycled materials, or you could even use dirt and mud. It's a mixture of dirt, mud, and clay. And so literally anybody could make these homes. They're self-sustaining,
Oh,
based on the way they're built is kind of underground, so they have this thermal mass. And so pretty much you don't have to, it's cooled and heated by the earth pretty much.
that's pretty
So
cool.
you don't need a AC system, you don't need a heating system naturally because it's built into the earth. It has this cooling and it has such thick walls, such thick insulation that it naturally stays between 65 to 75 like all year round.
Damn.
Yeah, I'm looking at it like a designer. I don't know if I can flip my camera or not, but it's good.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it goes crazy deep, and so like one of the things it talks about is or this is, I'm not gonna lie, this is one thing that I've been stoked about.
Mm-hmm.
It's called biofuel, and it's
Yeah,
pretty much turning shit into gas. And so like there's this company, they sell this big portable thingy, and pretty much you could use it as a toilet. So you flush, let's say we go to wash our hands, we go to shower, we go to cook, we dump the water out. Normally, all that's thrown into one big septic system along with the shit, and it's wasted, and that water's just wasted. But with
yeah.
this, that water then goes to feed the plants, water the plants. The plants then filter that water, so it gives it clean water that then runs to flush the toilet. That
Hmm.
toilet water goes, the shit
Yeah,
goes into this tank. It builds this biogas, and then every single day it's giving you like propane gas, methane gas to cook like on a
that's lit.
stovetop.
That is awesome.
Grow your own food. Like, dude, I'm not gonna lie, that shit is crazy dope. You don't have AC or heating costs. It uses less electricity. um, Recycled materials where you're literally taking free materials, dirt, tires,
Mm-hmm.
maybe a little bit of mesh and some other stuff, like a little bit of concrete, but like for the most part, it's all recycled free materials.
And you said
Way
Tyler,
better.
that's called Earth Homes, right?
I mean, there's like a bunch of million names for Earthships, Earth Homes, Adobe Homes.
How do you
Yeah, I'm
think?
looking at like a bunch of things. Good, good.
How would you feel, or how do you think the Earth Homes will? Do you think it would like increase the economy of the housing market or make it decline?
I think it would do the complete opposite of what the government would want us to do. I think it would
Mm-hmm.
turn us into producers instead of consumers. Instead of us, I think honestly, I think it would change the way humans work. It would change the way that humans, their way of life. You know what I mean? Like if you think about it, okay, your house is paid off. Let's say it's 100% paid off. You and somebody's went together and made this mud home, right? Made out of tires, dirt, a few windows, door, just like few little things. You know what I mean? They're building them 5, 10, 20K, like hella cheap. And so you go out, you build it, you don't have a mortgage payment anymore. From there, you're not having to pay for AC, which is usually the biggest part of your electricity bill, as well as heating, because your home is so densely, prepared and insulated. It's built into the earth. It's naturally 65 to 75, so you're not using heating, you're not using AC, you're not paying those bills like you used to. And then on top of that, if you're growing your own food inside of there, you know what I mean? Even if you're not growing 100% of your food, you know what I mean? If a billion people did this, you know what I mean? It's like, imagine it, Chris, if you didn't have to pay a mortgage payment right now, your lights are running, they're running off of solar, which is already
Mm-hmm.
paid for. That's going to be running for the next 30, 40, 50 years. Like, if you didn't have to work, if you didn't have an electricity bill, you didn't have a water bill, you didn't have a grocery bill, like, what are you doing, dude?
Yeah, like that literally takes that could catch like half of everything you're paying for out automatically. And then all the big corporations, how much money are they losing? If, like you said, 1 billion people do this, like they're losing half of their money. Like,
We should sell this door to door.
Dude, I would honestly, this would be, they have like a whole little village of them in New Mexico, and
okay,
apparently they have these like internships. You could go out and build one with people, and I'm not gonna lie, the whole business
bro.
model, it sounds pretty crazy. Like, just imagine me, let's say all three of us, we went together and bought some land, right? And we're like,
Mm-hmm.
hey, we're gonna build these three homes, and we're gonna keep building, so on, so on. Let's say we buy the land and we get a group of people who want to internship or they want a workshop, and we're like, hey, come fly out to us to, New Mexico. We're gonna teach you how to build this Earthship, blah 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 blah. And so you get a bunch of free labor and people wanting to learn to help build your home for free. Pretty much, you're getting free labor to build the home, if not getting paid to have people learn how to build an Earthship. And so it's like, I don't know, dude. I think it would change humanity, honestly. Like if
I
nobody had
agree.
to work as much, or if everybody was more reliant. And like I grew uh, my onions and potatoes, and Chris grew, uh, you know,
Green beans and carrots.
you know. And we
Yeah.
just all changed around. Like they would be so pissed about the money circulation, like
Because
going
at the end of the
inward.
day, we wouldn't need them anymore. Like that's the whole point. That's the
Nope.
whole way they're structuring society is that we're more dependent on them and taking away what we got. So like that changes everything back against them. That's why it's not very popular.
Yep. Yeah, that's
But
fascinating, boys. Like, I'm just sitting there thinking, like, I mean, honestly, Tyler, if you knock my door and you pitch me that, I wouldn't say no. That sounds like a no-brainer. No mortgage, living cleaner. I'm actually helping the environment, the economy. It's like it's like a full-on like green energy home with solar included on
Hmm.
top of it too.
That
yeah,
reminds me of another guy that I've seen. There's a guy, I forgot where he's at, but basically he's taking plastic and like waste materials and making fuel out of it that runs like diesel engines, cars, lawnmowers, weed eaters, like all that stuff. And he's trying to market it big enough to where he's trying to market it big enough to where it becomes like a worldwide fuel and everybody knows about it. And like you go to the comments and you're just seeing like the stuff you were doing, like you're just seeing people like, well, he's gonna die next week of a car crash or suicide and by 17 shots in the back. Like, come on. Come on.
some faith.
Yeah.
I honestly, I think there's so much ingenuity and stuff that's being suppressed. I mean, we
Yeah.
could talk about Tesla. Even in this bioship, the Earthship book that I'm reading, they go deep into the systems and like everything that you kind of need for like the house and the housing system and how to build it. He
Mm-hmm.
talks about like certain topics like uh free energy, free point energy matter. He used some scientific, like he's like, yeah, eventually we'll be able to do this. And it's like, okay, that's what Tesla's doing. And then he's like, eventually we'll be able to do solar now. They have these vapor, they can pull from the air. They take the air,
Oh,
pull
snap.
the vapor from it, and then it's spitting out fresh water every single day. So, like, you could imagine living in a desert, you don't have water, and then you put out the system, and then you're getting free water all the freaking time. And so, like, if the government, saw everybody producing their own water, their own electricity,
Mm-hmm.
their own energy, food. Like if everyone was 100% self-sustaining, they would not
There
want it
wouldn't
at
be a
all.
government. Like, there wouldn't be
Nope.
one.
Nope, not at all, man. That's it. I mean, at that point, we can all live. We're pretty much off the grid at that point. We're all going to be healthy, better, cleaner water, not this bullshit ass topper water that comes from town. Like, it's gonna be that good stuff, like, good, and not the Fiji.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
Fiji's
Bro, I guarantee, like, most people would stop getting sick. Like, people wouldn't be obese. There would be less, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, sicknesses and stuff like that. People would be just way more healthy. Like,
And you
it's
know
very
what?
disappointing.
We probably wouldn't need healthcare either, bro. Honestly, we probably wouldn't.
No. We wouldn't even, like, get to that point. That's what I'm saying. Like, we wouldn't even need it because we'd be all be healthy. Way more healthier.
I think there's like such a big difference between like preventative, not even preventative, taking care of yourself, I guess preventative healthcare. Like, hey, if you eat the right stuff, if you take care of yourself and do these right things every single day, then you won't need the diabetes or the cholesterol medicine. You won't need da 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 da. Versus, like, I feel like they're just trying to give you uh, a pill, something to sell you, something to keep you going on, saying like, instead of actually solving the root cause, like just giving you
It's
a
just like a mask,
painkiller
like
to.
a cover up. Yeah.
That's why I could say that. Tyler, you're right. Because I don't know if Chris told you, but like back in December, I had a crazy on like panic attack. Multiple reasons why I had that, but then I noticed like after the attack I had, coming into January of this year, bro, my anxiety and depression was super bad, bro, very bad. And then my homie Axel, which y'all know Axel, he actually told me to like, hey, like, stop going out to eat, stop going to Whataburger, stop going like McDonald's, all this bullcrap stuff you're eating. Try eating fresh vegetables from a farmer's market, uh, fresh meat. Start like using it. Yeah, it's more money, but like it's gonna make you feel better. I didn't
Yeah.
really believe it. I'll be honest with you, I didn't believe it until I tried it for like a month.
Yeah.
And yeah, I spend more money on food, but I feel a lot better now, bro. I don't need the bullshit ass medicine they gave me from the
Yeah.
ER, and I don't need it at all anymore. I don't want to use it. I don't want to take it.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna tag along. Like, they give us all this stuff. It's just masks to cover up symptoms. It's not fixed. Like it's just to keep you to come back over and over and over, so they give you more stuff and keep you in the system. Like it doesn't ever fix the problem. But you see all these health doctors and these like holistic places that actually do like herbs and minerals and stuff like that, and they cure people when they don't have any more symptoms, and it's all natural. So like that should tell you something in itself. Like natural stuff heals the body. All this fake garbage makes it worse. So yeah.
Even if something as simple as turmeric too. Turmeric helped me a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, it goes crazy. I mean, just like what Chris is talking about, like, I feel like it's a huge, I mean, we all know it's like a huge system of like they
Mm-hmm.
feed us shit, so then we, buy the pain medicines, the painkillers, this, that, so on, or we feel depressed, we get fat, we get XYZ, and then, anxiety. We were talking about eating the cows, like you can't tell me that cow while it was being flipped upside down and it saw everybody getting murdered in front of him, that cow was not stressed, that cow was not anxious, that cow was not
No,
in
yeah, for sure.
state of fear, a doubt, low vibrations, and then you're taking all of that on. Like, so I don't know. I think it's crazy, and I think that's a big reason where it's like, okay, we need to take control or take these small little steps in, micro gardens, community gardening, and
Mhm.
you know what I mean, knowing where our food comes from.
Bro, did you know it's illegal to like have your own water and make your own water in some states? I don't know if it is in
No
every
way.
state. But yeah, you cannot. It's illegal to have your own water, like sustainable water, in some states.
Oh my gosh, bro. You just irritated me, Chris. No way.
Bro, that when I found that out, I was like, "There's not possible. Like, there's rain. Like, put a thing out and then capture rain." They were like, "No, you can't do that."
Wow.
And I was like, "What are you talking about? Like, they're not gonna tell me that I can't do that." Like,
Bro, that's the craziest. That sounds like some HOA bullshit. Like,
yeah, I know, bro. That's what I was thinking when I heard it. I was like, "There's no way."
That's wild. Speaking of that, bro, I didn't know that, and I think Chris, you and I talked about this before. I didn't know, like in countries like Australia, I think Switzerland, maybe Europe, red dye, like the red dye 40, that's actually illegal there.
Yeah, we were talking about that. Most places in like the UK and other countries are out of the US. Like most of the stuff in our like Pop Tarts and Gatorade and food like that, like Skittles, like all that stuff's banned over there. They have completely different ingredients. So that in itself should also be like, yo, what is happening? Like, why are we allowing all this crap?
This is exactly why I have a love-hate relationship with America. And I'll be honest with y'all, I don't want to be living here forever. I want to have properties and assets in other areas of the world.
Yeah, bro. I'm gonna be honest. Like, America's kind of crumbling right now. To be honest, like we all see it. We all know what's going on. So
it's crazy because I feel like the American dream used to be, buy a home, do this, build a future, get a wife,
Mhm.
blah, 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 blah. But it's like, I honestly feel like the American dream is to now either unplug from the system or move out of the system. And so that's why I
Yeah.
feel like you're seeing so many expats, so many people go to Thailand, Mexico, all these overseas, Dubai, United Arab Emirates, you know what I mean? All these different places. And then you also see people where it's like, we used to make fun of people making, living in trailers, living in their van, living in a tent, on the side of the river. We used to make fun of all of these people, and now that's like the new trend. That's the new
Yeah.
thing. Tiny houses and this minimalistic hippie life is the way now. You know what I mean? That is the American dream, to leave.
Yeah. It's crazy how it switches, man. I don't know. That's a lot of stuff. I'm about to actually look that up really quick and see what states that is in, so I can give you all a little bit of facts here.
Damn,
My
bro,
mind
Tyler,
blew
you
my
hit my
mind.
head. You blew my mind, bro. Like that phrase right there, saying that is now the new American dream. No longer getting a family, no longer going to college, getting married, living the typical life. Now it's getting away from the system. I love that frame of mind.
I mean, honestly, like if you look at most people, you know what I mean, in America and their family oversights, or if you look at kids growing up, how they're raised, like it's bro, it's mind blowing. Like the way that Americans are kind of set up to like work, 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 and like grind hard and spend your whole life doing this, and then you go overseas, and I feel like there's like it's like a slower way of life where it's more about family, it's more about things that are gonna last forever. You know what I mean? Like jobs and work and all of this, like does not matter. And if you die, like the company is not gonna give two shits.
Funny enough, you're right, bro. Because Chris, you know the Costa Rican chick I was messing with in Costa Rica.
Mhm. Yeah.
She told me the exact same thing that he just said. Life
There
is
you go.
slower. Life is slower over there, and they're able to
Mhm.
breathe and just enjoy the present moment. It's not so speedy, speedy, do this, do that. It's slow and steady, and they're happy, bro. I love that.
No, yeah, bro. Like you can definitely feel that. Like when you're there, it just feels like a way better experience. You're more happy. Like you want to get out and experience everything, and eat all the fruits, and try all the food, and like mingle with people and just interact with people. Like it's completely different.
Oh, tell me about it, bro.
But
I had
back to the
experience with her.
rainwater collection thing I'm looking at, it says some states have low rainwater collection restrictions. Arkansas, California, Colorado, Georgia, Illinois, Nevada, North Carolina, Ohio, Oregon, Rhode Island, Texas, Utah, Virginia, Washington, and Wisconsin. And then there's also regulations on what you can do with the rainwater. So that's crazy in itself.
Bro, there's so much BS like on code, like even codes like in itself, where it's like, okay, you're telling me I buy this house. And granted, like I kind of get it, where it's like, okay, we don't want, a bunch of pigs right next to and cows right next to a school, and it smells
Mm,
like shit. Or we don't want a huge nuclear processing plant right next to, this neighborhood XYZ. But it's like at the same time, like, dude, it's like our land. Like, why
yeah,
can't I grow this? Why can't I catch the rain? Why can't I? Even like with the Earthship homes, like if you technically, and that's why you got to go to like these no restriction areas. If you wanted to do the infinite water system where like your washing, your hand water, your cooking water, all your shower water, all of that feeds the plants, and then it goes to flush a toilet. And then if you want to do all of that, you can't get the code because le- code wise, legally, like they're like it's not. You know what I mean? But it's saving
yeah.
so much water. It's saving the earth. Honestly, it's saving you time, money.
It's all around a better situation.
It's crazy. But yeah, I don't know if you guys. I feel like we've kind of touched enough on the Earthship and renewable energy. Well, I don't know if you guys want to talk about your experience in solar or anything like that.
Yeah, solar's a scam. I'm just kidding. Just joking. Yeah, I think I don't keep mine brief. I don't want to be talking too much about solar, but I think depending on I guess where you get your solar from, it's like company, etc. I think it's the way, bro. I think there's obviously like new technology coming, and there's a lot more work that needs to be done with it. But I think give it in about 2030, maybe 2030, 35, 2040. I think it's going to be the wave. Like every home in California, I mean, if y'all worked there before, you know that they know what solar is. They're paying like 40 cents per kilowatt, 50 cents per kilowatt. And it's like at this point, they're building homes with solar already on it. Now the realtors are making more money. The investors are making more money. I think
Mhm.
solar is the wave. Long story short, it is the wave. It just takes some time to get the bugs out, the kinks, just like Tesla with the Tesla car, electric vehicles. But I think overall, before we die, I think we're going to see the peak of it. I think of solar. I think so. For houses, that's houses essentially for residential. I think, in my opinion.
Yeah. That brings me to another point. Like, how do y'all think our grid's going to be able to manage up to that? Like, everybody knows our grid is super outdated. Being like funding all this back energy back into the grid and new technology coming out attached to the grid. Like, how is that one not going to overload it, and two, how is that going to be managed? If they're not already managing it, you know what I mean?
I think that ties back into the Earthship sustainable living and all of that, because honestly the way that the grid is going, it's not interchangeable, or it's not so easily interchangeable. It's not the issue of producing power, because we can
Mhm.
do that easily and on command, but it's more so the storage of the power,
Yeah.
that duck curve where the solar produces all this power, but then it's like, okay, where are we going
Where's
to
it going?
store it? Yeah. And so I think batteries, I have no clue about batteries and all of that, but honestly, if I went and built an Earthship, right, and I had my own little sustainable grid, and because it is so much more eco-friendly and all of that, I'm not having to draw as much energy. And so
Mhm.
if I'm able to produce or use all the solar energy, you know what I mean? And if we do that times a billion, I think the grid would be a lot more reliable if there was people that was more self-reliant, if there
Mhm.
were people that were producing more, and then if there were people with more batteries. And I think that's what California realized is when they started getting all these producers, all these solar panels. Because what Savvy is saying, dude, you could go to California and
Mhm.
there is more roofs with solar than not. I promise you,
Yeah.
if you went out and knocking, it'd be like solar, 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 solar. Oh, that one doesn't. No, it's on the backside. Okay, solar, solar, and then we'd find the one or two houses out of like 10 or 20 that don't have solar.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think batteries would be the best way to help the grid. But I'm not a scientist.
Yeah, I agree with the batteries 100%. Even like when I was knocking recently, dude, like it just makes sense to have a battery. It does make sense to the customer, the consumer standpoint. It makes a lot of sense. It'll last longer. You don't have to worry about like the power going out. If a tornado comes, a hurricane, batteries are the wave. Why do you think like Tyler and Chris, like why is solar, depending on where you're at in the world and how much power you're using, why is it so expensive? Because I think it is sometimes like quite a bit, especially for the battery. It can be if you don't like qualify for certain credits. Like why is
Well,
that?
I would say a lot of like the technology and stuff where we're getting it is part of the issue. Like, there's so many taxes and tariffs on the stuff that we're getting from all these people, and there's all these people involved, and all these dealer fees and all this. Like, if it was just resident to producer or and like producer to consumer, it would be much cheaper than all these middlemen. Like, so that's where most of it comes from, I believe.
To tap on what Chris is saying, yeah, one, the tariffs, like, so some of the panels that we know are coming from overseas, so they're automatically getting hit with tariffs. And then two is damn it, lost, lost my thunder. Um, okay, someone else take it, because we were talking about solar,
We're
and I
talking
had.
about solar and like why is it so expensive for people, like
Oh,
batteries and
okay, middlemen. Yeah,
yeah.
so 100%, it's the dealers, it's the company, it's the sales rep. Because if we're being blunt, a 30. I don't have a calculator in front of me, but you know what I mean. They're charging $1,000 a kilowatt profit just for the salesperson. Let's just be blunt. That's just for the salesperson. So like a
Mhm.
third of your system, pretty much that tax credit and I probably should not be saying this on the internet, but fucking 30% of the tax credit is typically going to the sales reps commissions, to the managers commission, to the sales organization. Let's just be
Yeah.
blunt. And
Yeah.
so
Be
then on
honest, be
top of
blunt.
that, yeah, you just got people got to make money. Let's just be real.
Mm.
So that's a big portion of where that solar money is going. And then on top of that, these installers, they got to make money too. And so if everybody, honestly, it's not so much that it's expensive. It's when you deal with the installation, the labor, the warranties is the biggest thing, and that peace of mind is the biggest thing. Because let's just be blunt, if I put up a solar system for a residential every single day house, I do not want to touch that. I don't want to mess with it. I don't want to pull codes. I don't want to electrify myself or
Mm-hmm.
anything like that. So I think it depends on what applications you're using it in. I think it could be cheaper, but um, it just depends on where
Yeah.
that peace of mind and who you trust.
Mm. Like another thing, you get what you pay for. So if you pay for cheap, you're gonna get cheap work. If you pay for decent price, you get decent price. You pay for good, you pay for good. It's the same thing with everything else. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm
How
not
do
gonna lie
y'all?
though.
Oh, good.
I'm not gonna lie though. A big part of the reason why solar is so expensive is because of the sales rep. If there was a person or a place that blah, blah, blah. They took AI and they automated it where it's like, hey, enter
Mm.
your bill, enter your usage, enter your price per kilowatt, da 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 da, and it spits out a system of design, and you picked and chose it. It would be so much cheaper price per watt for the consumer. But at the
Yeah,
same time, there's so much adoption that's not there yet. There's so much understanding that's lacking at the moment.
that's true.
But yeah, my bad. Go ahead, Savvy.
I forgot, bro. I think you ripped it out of my mouth. So kudos to you.
Let's hit the Matrix. What you wanna
Let's
tap
do
on
it.
that?
Yeah. So for any of y'all that have never watched the movie The Matrix, Keanu Reeves, 2001, watch it right now. Leave this podcast, go watch the freaking movie, and get back on it. Follow Tyler and Chris. I just want to say, boys, that movie came out 2001, which was like 23 years ago. And the
Hmm.
thing is, that movie directly correlates to what's going on in today's modern world. That movie was way ahead of its time, and they know what they were doing. They are not dumb. They're not stupid. They knew it, bro. If you watch the movie with subtitles on, you guys will know that that movie is the modern world right now. How do y'all feel about the Matrix and just the context in the movie and how it connects to modern day today?
Well, bro, like that's another thing that I've been talking to a lot of people about. Like, no matter if it's being explained or anything like that, like all the stuff in the movie lines up what's going on with our like government and what's going on in today's world. It doesn't matter if their perspective is not able to receive it and understand what's actually happening. So, like, even if it's being shown, like people still don't get it because they just like I don't know, like you know what I mean? Like I don't know what a good word for that is, but they just can't get it.
They're naive and oblivious.
I want to say that, and then on top of that, I feel like the government puts these things out in movies. So
Mm.
like before, if someone were to explain the Matrix and like, hey, we're living in a false reality. What we see physically, touch, smell, all of this is not the base reality. There's another reality, and we're living in this simulation and we're outside of our bodies really and all of this. If someone came out and said all of this, that it may hold some fact and it may be backed by science, but if they released it in a movie and someone came out and was like, yeah, we're living in a fractal hologram and this is all fake and we're being plugged and used by the system for energy and da 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 da, they'd be like, oh, dude, you're talking about the Matrix. They're just going to
Yeah.
gaslight them and be like, dude, you're just talking about the Matrix. You've been watching too much sci-fi shit. Like,
Mhm.
chill out, bro. So I think that's why they've released it, honestly, for that little
Yeah.
factor right there.
Yeah, I could agree with that. I could see that too.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, actually, no, it's cool and interesting because like the actors, dude, they know their part, they know their script. Do you think back then Keanu Reeves like knew what was going on? I feel like these people know, but they just can't say too much on camera, or else like it'll cost their jobs.
For sure. For sure. I feel like certain people, like you can tell they know they're not, they can say some stuff, they know stuff, and they don't out of repercussions or whatever that could happen to them, whatever. But also, you got people like Ryan Garcia right now that's just going ballistic, and people think he's crazy, and he's saying a bunch of stuff like, there's a line, like you actually got to see what if they are actually saying facts, or are they just talking nonsense, or like the ones that know stuff and they're keeping quiet. Like you just got to know. So,
Yep. You don't know what
that's
you
my
don't know.
that's exactly, yeah. That's my take.
Dude, I love that, Chris, because bro, Ryan Garcia is still going through it, and you know it's funny. He just won that fight like last week
Hmm.
against Devin. I don't, I believe he won. I mean, regardless, he's still going through it. We know that. Like, people like you, me, and Tyler, we're open. I don't want to say woke. I hate that word now. I feel like it's just so like bad saying woke.
Yeah, woke is not the right word for that.
Yeah, no.
I think open-minded would be the best description.
Yeah.
What would you guys say from the Matrix movie? What would you say like one takeaway is, or what would you say is one like vision you got from the movie?
Oh. Man, this is a great question, bro. The scene where Neo was walking around with I forgot his name. I feel bad, but the guy, black guy with the glasses, the goggles. And he was like, this is the system that we live in, you know. Why are you being distracted by the girl in the red dress that walked by? This is the
Mm.
life you live right here. You could be living this life, but you're over here getting controlled by these people. The Sentinels, that's what they called it in the movie. So I
Hmm.
took that with a grain of salt, and I apply that still this day to watch out of what I'm watching, watch who I'm listening to, who I'm surrounded with, what I'm reading, just being more
That's
cautious
huge.
of the things I'm doing. That way I can fully, completely remove myself from the matrix, from being stuck and depressed and complacent and feeling
Hmm.
inadequate. And what's the word that Andrew Tate uses? Uh, de- degenerates. There we go.
Yeah, that's good. That's really good.
I love
Uh,
DJ.
oh,
Oh,
okay. So what I would say is like you can do anything you put your mind to. Like they say, whatever you see in your mind, you can create in the movie, and then they create like buildings and can jump across like massive gaps and stuff like that. So just whatever you see in your mind, whatever you have the vision of, you can create. You just got to work towards it every day and put action towards it. So that's what I took from it.
I agree with Chris, both of you guys, and to tag on that, like one of the shroomy trips that I had was
Yeah.
so I'm looking at my hands, I'm looking at the desk in front of me, and everything is like kind of in mathematical and geometric patterns. You know how in the Matrix where it loads and the numbers go,
Hmm.
it's like
Hmm.
green 0101, and you see all of that pop up, and so like that's what I was seeing. Like I could see my phone, I see my hand, I look at the TV, I look at the desk, I look at everything, and it has this fractal shapes or it has
Hmm.
this numbers popping up inside of it. And so, like, honestly, what Chris is saying, I think what we see and smell and all of that is 5% of the visible spectrum. There's that other 95% that we can't see, smell, touch, X ray, phone rays, so on, so on. And so I think
Yeah.
there's a bigger part of us, a more powerful part of us that's living outside of this simulation. That what I mean is eternal or is more there's parts of us that I feel like are eternal that aren't visible, like your truth, your love, this, that, like
Hmm.
is I'm rambling, but you know what I mean. I feel like
No, yeah, keep going, keep going.
that's the higher version of yourself, is this light, love, and joy, this bliss, this um I don't even know what you want, because there is no word for it. Like if you go to the
Yeah.
Tao, like you can't describe God, because then therefore that's not the infinite, you know what I mean? Like it's impossible to
Hmm.
describe. But yeah, I think there's a bigger part of us living outside of this simulation, this every single day world that we come to.
And if you think about it, like we're only here for like a speck of time, like just a little blip, and then you're gone. Like so, at the end of the day, what I get from that as well is like just do what you want to do, no matter what people think. What they're gonna do is what they're gonna do, but do what you want to do because you're only here for so long. It's so short; it can be cut off at any time. Just do it. Don't waste your time. So yeah, that's yeah.
That's awesome, bro. I love both of you guys' input on that, and I really appreciate both of you guys for speaking the truth and telling our friendly audience here what's on y'all's hearts. One thing I want to share that I've gotten from the movie as well. Chris, that scene where Morpheus, that's his name. He was
Mm-hmm.
like, how are you letting me beat you in this fight, Neo? Like you are the one. You're the chosen one. He never understood. He was the one. He never understood what that meant to be the one. Me, we're all the one. We just have to
Yeah.
tap into that power. It's in us. It's in us to be great. And once we tap into it and fully take it on like Super Saiyan, our freaking hair is like freaking growing yellow and orange, dude, we can defeat and dominate everything in life, bro. And
Mm-hmm.
we're gonna be happy forever. And Neo found that. When he found that, dude, Matrix 1, 2, 3, and 4, he was a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah.
So I love that.
Now,
That's all I'm
now
saying.
I wanna ask y'all something to tag along to that. Like, do you feel like that's a good way to frame this? So when you switch into that mindset, you can feel like your energy change, right? So does that mean the powers around you, like the negative forces, also can feel that energy and you get attacked more, or you become like a target in a sense? Does that make sense? What I'm saying?
100%. I think in like especially like I hear it a lot in Christianity where they say like, hey, if you open to prophesy or you open up to the spirit young, and it's like when you get this the Holy Spirit, they say you can, and I believe 1,000% in all of these things, I mean, like you can dream, you can see visions, you
Mm-hmm.
can speak in tongues, you can interpret, and the tongues, you can, all of these different prophesies and all of these different gifts of the spirit that we um get, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I
I agree
forgot the
100%.
I forgot the question, but
That's everyone.
That's how,
Everybody.
I mean, he hit on pretty much on the head. I mean, you know what's funny, bro? I'll be honest with you, Chris. I've been Christian for like 7 years now, and I'm starting like not to want to label myself as Christian no more. This
Mm-hmm.
is like a different topic, but I want to answer the question. Like, I just want to call myself a follower of God. Being a follower
Mm-hmm.
of Christ and God, yes, the evil forces do come after you if they know you're a
Yeah.
follower of Christ and God, and it comes after you more than other people.
For sure, like for sure, and I feel like when you're on like a streak, for example, like you're doing the right thing every single day, it's going well, like you're following what you're supposed to be doing. Like a lot of things all at once will happen to like test you and keep making sure that you're going to stay on that path and you keep pushing and keep being disciplined. So it's just something that I've been running into a little bit here recently that I'm figuring out. So I'm figuring out to ask you guys if y'all can relate to that and all. So
Yeah,
yeah,
I can.
I would say like especially like if you open up at like a young age, or if you have some trauma that's not healed, or that's not actively, even if you're actively working on it, that's going to bring up a
mm-hmm.
lot of pain, a lot of trauma, and a lot of hurt. But if you or a lot of negativity or stuff, but I feel like if you open up spiritually and you open up, I think it's a wavelength, right? So everything is
Mm-hmm.
rhythms, vibrations, frequencies. So like the highest high that you're going to experience on the other end is also going to be the lowest low. The
Yeah.
extent that you are going to experience your highest highs is the extent you're going to experience your lowest lows, and vice versa. Meaning, like, if you live a pretty steady life and you're like, oh, little bump, right? That's like the biggest high you're gonna get, right? Nothing
Yeah.
too crazy. You're not chasing big risks. Versus if you're taking big risks and you're like, oh shit, 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 you fucking hit rock bottom, and then boom, you are on a fucking high. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I think um, to the extent that you open up to those higher frequencies, those higher realms and potentialities, and you open up to God, you open up to higher consciousness, I think there is that possibility of those lows to come.
Mm-hmm. I feel that.
But same thing in sales. I think it's just about
Trying to stay as middle ground as possible.
Yep.
Yeah.
middle ground, because I mean, honestly, I don't think it matters what's going on in your life, whatever it is. I think the biggest thing that I'm realizing is um, more so than hitting my targets, more so than hitting these external things, I just
Mm-hmm.
want to be the type of person every single day that one loves every single day to the most, that a shows up for every single day, like that. I want to embody those values, those internal values, more so than I do want to don't get me wrong. I do want to hit, X, Y, and Z goals and these external, money, sales goals, X, Y, and Z. But I think ultimately me focusing on those internal parts is gonna
Mm-hmm.
get
Bro,
me
that,
there.
that keeps you being present like every day and like focusing on what you have to do today and staying present all throughout the day. Than like worrying about the past or worrying about the future or worrying about if you're gonna hit these goals or not. Like it's a good way to ground yourself and keep yourself in the present. So that's incredible. That's awesome.
Yeah, Chris, you and I definitely can relate to that because we were going through it, bro. Dude,
Bro,
you and I.
bro,
What happened?
bro, I don't know, bro. Like that was a rough a couple months. Like it was. I don't know, bro. Like we went to BU. Did you ever go to BU, Tyler? Bro, yeah, Savvy. Just go ahead and explain, bro. I don't know what in the world.
No fucking idea, bro. But like me and Chris were going through it spiritually, mentally, physically, in our jobs, like selling door to door, like everything, like from after BU, from October through like January, we were going through it, Tyler. And like it was to a point where like me and Chris was kind of like misery loves company, bro. We were just shooting our problems at each other's back and forth, like what we're going through at night, bro. No homo type shit, but at night in the same room was just talking, like, bro.
Like, bro, what is
What a
happening? Like, what is this going on? What's going on here? Like, this is happening. Like, we're not trying to make it happen. It's rough.
in that same night, that morning or the night of, I had the panic attack that night, and Chris took me to the ER.
Yeah.
And I can tell you this, bro. If y'all don't have a friend like Chris Apple in your life, or a friend that can like hold you down, bro, like that's not your friend. Chris is a good friend to me, and you will always be my homie, bro. Because I remember that shit.
So,
Like, like it was yesterday, bro. Like dude, I was going through it, and you were too, bro. That day
mm,
we were knocking in the college, you were going through it as well.
bro, like, I'll even share this. Like, I think it was like December, November or December, bro. I don't remember. It was the last little bliss before I left and came back to Tennessee for a little bit. Like money was drying up, like I was going through it, like I don't know what was going on. It just seemed like everything just all at once was doom, 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 doom. And so I took a day, like the last 2 days, like didn't focus on none of that, like was super positive, like kept my mental all like straight, kept it good, didn't worry about anything, was having great conversations with people. And for whatever reason, like no matter what I did, it would not work. Like I did everything to a T perfect, and it was just not having it. So I was like, "What in the world is going on? Like, well, I can't do anything different, anything better than what I'm doing. So like, what am I missing here?" And still to this day, I don't know. Like, I don't know. So I don't know
You
what
know
it
what?
was.
I want to share something to you from a brother to a brother, friend to a friend, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Um, what is it? So pretty much like, regardless of how much money you make, or regardless if you produce or not, like Tyler was saying, uh, it's really not all about the money. It's really about
Mm-hmm.
the skills that you learn, and you could take this elsewhere. Like for me,
Yeah.
I told my manager a couple of days ago, like I do not see myself doing like door to door solar in the next 2 years. Probably like one more year, and I'm done. One more summer, because now I know that if I can go through all that shit, I can really take on the social media stuff to a T, to a max, and full
Mm-hmm.
send it. Because I have so much
Yeah.
endurance now to keep going and don't stop.
Mm-hmm.
And doing this right here, like we're doing, boys, like imagine like doing this on a bigger scale. Like I can do this every day. I love this. This is fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is awesome.
No, definitely the skills and the things you learned in this job and like door to door and like personal development you can use that and translate that to any other thing, marketing, some development,
Yeah.
building businesses, like just talking to people, networking with people, like it can transfer to everything. So that's
You know
why
what?
so
Go ahead.
grateful that this
Sorry.
happened, bro. No, you're good. So grateful that I've even had this experience or learning experience the past couple of years. So that's one of the biggest things I've always been grateful for about it.
I love that, bro. You know, it's crazy too, bro. Like, there's some people I feel like in this industry that we work in, or like really, I think any sales job, that try to make you feel bad for like wanting to
Mm-hmm.
like go elsewhere. But bro, the skills you've learned, like you could do a lot of things in life. Your passions, go back to your passion to what you were doing, and use the skills that you've learned. And
Yeah.
that's why I look at it like, hey, if someone doesn't love me for leaving or for doing something else, those guys are not my true friends anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Especially in this space we're in. Like, you guys know how door to door works, like the manager recruiting, all that stuff. Like, oh,
Oh yeah.
yeah, yeah. I don't say too much. We're on camera, like saying all this shit, but like, yeah, if you're in door to door, guys, make sure you ask the right questions, and just be upfront and be forward to your manager.
Mm.
Let them know how you feel. You know.
Yeah, because I mean, at the end of the day, I think most people know, whether it's door to door or any job, like, hey, this job that I'm working right here, right now, typically is not people's end all be all. It's typically not their dream job or what they, want to do for the rest of their life or what fulfills them necessarily. But exactly what
Mm-hmm.
you're saying, it's those skills, it's that character development that downloaded, that you got during it. And so, like, door to door, I will say to 1,000,000% that it was the greatest decision in my life. I'm gonna, like, my kids are gonna do it one day.
Oh yeah.
Just because, like, before door to door, dude, I was a scared shitless. I did not believe in myself. Like, dude, I promise you, I was like handsome as shit, like, especially when I had my long hair and little pretty boy and all that. But you know, outer exterior, probably people would have looked at me here, but I
Mm-hmm.
promise you, I was way down here. I thought I was ugly. I thought I
Yeah.
wasn't shit. I thought I talked weird, looked funny. I thought the absolute worst of myself, and so door to door, I think, really opens up people to challenge their thought processes. You're on the doors 8, 10 hours a day, just talking to yourself every single
Mm-hmm.
day. And it's like, whether it's this job or any job, if you don't analyze those thoughts, if you don't see those autopilot thoughts, those subconscious thoughts, if you don't analyze those and change those that are, harming you, you're just going to keep running on autopilot. And so I think
Yeah.
door to door has allowed me to challenge that typical thought process that I always had, or that typical fear-based thinking, that I always was in, and challenged me to believe in myself, believe in, what's out there, the infinite possibility.
Yeah. That's awesome.
But
So
yeah,
we're 51 minutes in, boys. I do have one more, I guess, question, different topic that I want to ask both of y'all before we end,
Send it.
or before you guys have any other things you want to share. But I wrote down this, Chris, and for you, Tyler, as well. So most men nowadays, I guess, like, and we can all probably relate to this. Testosterone is like going down dramatically. There's studies on it, articles I'm looking up right now. Testosterone is going down by 60% as of 2024 for 80% of the males in the United States alone.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and a lot of that also correlates to confidence. Confidence is going down with it, with testosterone, a decrease in decline. Chris and Tyler, like in the fitness space, like working out, like being healthy or whatnot, like having the confidence, being a man, being masculine, being there for your wife. Do you think that it is okay and acceptable to use steroids in any form to increase your happiness and confidence in yourself?
So, happiness and confidence, regardless, doesn't come from steroids. No matter how many steroids you do, you're not gonna hit that. As far as like physically being healthy and needing the testosterone, that also comes with what we were talking about earlier, like all the food that you're eating and the stuff that you're putting into your body and taking care of yourself. Like that's either going to increase it, manage it, or reduce it. So it's all about taking care of yourself, your health, making sure you're doing the right things that you need to do. But as far as confidence in yourself, that's one of the things that I've been building like heavily for the last like few months on 75 Hard is like when you say you're going to do something, do it. Like don't lie to yourself because the more that you say you're going to do something, and you're like, oh, I'll do it next day or I'll do it tomorrow. Like you're lying to yourself and breaking that bond within yourself. So if you can't even trust yourself, how in the world are you supposed to like believe anybody else or like build on it? And like you have no foundation to build. So like it's just gonna break and crumble every time you try to build it. But as far as like health and making sure you have the testosterone as you get older, I feel like if that's something that you want to do to make sure you're healthy and that's something that you need, then that's up to you. It's a personal decision. So that's where I sit on it. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. 'Cause, I mean, you do see all these guys like Sam Sulik, like Bradley Martin, Larry Wills. They're all taking steroids, in the
Mhm.
gym, in the fitness space, gym bro space. I'm not one of those type of guys. I like what you and Tyler are about. Y'all's principles just show up every single day, regardless of how you feel, and you will
Yep.
gain confidence that way. My body, how I look. Okay, I can say this. when I get lean and shredded and I'm strong, I have a lot of confidence. But my confidence comes from internal beliefs, how I think
Mm-hmm.
internally, not the outside. I'm gonna be
Yeah.
kind of scared right now, but as long as my internal beliefs on the inside are aligned, I'll be confident. Obviously,
That's
it
it.
helps to like look good, your outside body, but that's not the one all be all. It comes from
Yeah.
inside, internal thinking. That's how you build confidence for a man and for a woman too.
I agree. Mr. Tyler, what is your input?
Yeah, I mean to tap on that, like steroid, any external thing's not going to make you happy. Like let's just realize first of all, like if we're chasing an external thing, that
Mm.
it's usually some sort of internal feeling that I'm really chasing. Like if I wanted to say, hey, I wanted to be shredded and ripped this summer. Okay, so like let's go deeper. And just say so that and keep finishing. Hey, I want to be shredded and ripped by this summer so that I can look and feel good. Hey, I want to look and feel good this summer so that I can feel good about myself. Hey, I want to feel good about myself so that I can be comfortable in my own skin. Hey, I want to be comfortable in my own skin so that I can love
Mm-hmm.
myself. Hey, I want to love myself so that I can feel loved. And then really like when you get to that very, very, very deep end rooted and you can't so that I can anymore and you're just like, hey, I just want to feel loved. You chase and you realize, hey, I want to feel shredded and ripped and all of this by this summer. And I keep going all this way. And I realize internally, like, hey, I just want to feel loved. Like, if we're just
Mm-hmm.
being honestly, I don't want to be shredded or ripped. I don't want the million billion dollars. I don't want the perfect picture family. What I really want is to feel loved, or what I really want to be is to feel secure. And so, like, realize whatever external thing that you're chasing, there's some sort of internal feeling, some internal motive that you're trying to accomplish, and realize that you can generate and feel loved. You can feel appreciated. You can feel all of these different things that you really want instead of these external things. You can
Mm-hmm.
generate those feelings on demand. Um, so yeah, that's my 2 cents is that we're not really chasing something external. We're chasing that internal feeling, and you just need to realize what it is and how to give it to yourself and how to give it to
Yep.
others.
That's huge. That's huge. But I'll also tag along on that in a different way. Like you hear about all these rich people and all these people that got millions and millions of dollars and did all this work, and then when they finally get the money or they get the achievement or they get whatever they were going after, like they're depressed, they have no more purpose, like they lose everything. Some people, you know what I mean? Like that's why because they're putting all their faith and all their purpose in the external result, and then once they get it, they lose their purpose. And when you lose purpose, that's where everything starts to crumble. So yeah.
Yeah, I agree. You know how God in the Bible talks about like not being attached to worldly things, but be more attached
Mm-hmm.
to like the spiritual world, just like that.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, I agree honestly, just because I can remember my first solar deal, dude. That shit was fat as dude. I'm talking like 9 grand. This is like a kid from Target, never made more than $10 an hour. Like
Yep.
fucking 9 grand on one deal. I honestly like you would think like I'd be like giddy up, woo, da da da, like I fucking did it. Like this is it. This is after 3 months of no deal, 3 months of not
Mm-hmm.
getting shit, and so I finally hit this deal, make 9K. You think I would be like on the fucking moon, ecstatic? I get in my car, dude. That was the emptiest feeling
Yeah.
I've ever experienced, just being honest. And it's not so much that the money is bad. It's not so much that I did a bad thing and I feel empty because of it, but it's more so like, um, that's ultimately not what I wanted. That's ultimately not what I was chasing. Ultimately, you know what I mean? What I wanted to do was empower others. And you know what I mean? Seeing you
Mm-hmm.
get a deal, seeing, Tehran, seeing these people who never got a deal before get a deal, that's what I realized gave me that
That's,
fulfillment. And so I
yeah.
think in life, you got to realize and know yourself, because I think we're so trained to chase these external things or chase other people's goals thinking it's our own, and we never question what are our own goals and what's really meaningful to us. So I just think knowing ourselves is the biggest
Mm-hmm.
thing.
Well, that's why like a lot of people on social media they compare with each other. Like, oh, he's this old and he's got all this, and
Oh
then
man.
she's this old and has all this. Like, comparison is the thief of joy, and it says that in the Bible as well. Like that ruins everything. So don't compare because everybody's on a different path. But I feel what you're saying though, because like when I first, after like 6 months of not getting a deal, and then I finally got mine, I feel also empty like that. I was like, bro, like it's not. I mean, cool, but like it's not. I didn't feel fulfilled, so I feel that as well.
I'll be honest, I feel empty as well, but I'm like more empty as far as my stomach because I got to start eating more when I'm working. So, yeah, dude, I love y'all, man. I love y'all boys so much.
I love you too, bro.
Love you through. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, these things are fun. Okay, last question, and then I think I don't know if you guys are like in a rush. I'm not really in a rush or anything.
I'm chilling today. Chilling today. Ain't got
Yep,
much to do.
yep,
All right,
same
all
here.
right. Let me. I'm gonna ask this question. No, I don't want to walk away for this question. Do you have? Let me grab some coffee real quick, and then I'm gonna ask
Okay,
this question that
All
I
right,
think would be really.
perfect.
short little 3 minute break. I'm gonna take a leak.
Yo, Chris,
Yo,
yo, have you got that game? There's a new game that just came out. It's kind of like Call of Duty. I don't know if you saw it.
what is it?
It's like a new, not new Call of Duty, but it's kind of similar to Call of Duty.
You talking about X Defiant?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's not out yet, but I wanna play it. I've seen a lot of people playing it, like the beta and stuff. I'll be right back. I'm gonna run to the restroom.
All right, bro. Started with a whisper.
Yo, Savvy.
Yo,
Yo, are we still doing the like solar podcast with Sully? Is that like the solar team podcast? Is that still happening?
I'll be honest, bro. We could talk about a lot of that off this call. I know.
You cut out a little bit. You said what?
I said, we could talk about a lot of that stuff off this podcast, but I don't think we are.
All right, well, F it. Let's me and you do one. Well, I mean,
I'm
we ain't
down,
got to
bro.
do it. We ain't got to not do it just because they don't want to do it. We can do it.
Yeah, I'm down. Yeah, there's a lot of things have changed. We had a call talking about a lot of stuff, bro.
Okay, bro. I can kind of tell with like the chats and stuff, but we'll leave that for
Yeah,
after this.
yeah. We got a call and have a long, actually long conversation, bro. That game, because bro, I'm actually very interested in getting it when it comes out. Bro, oh, finally, I got my Xbox.
You got an Xbox?
No, I got it. It's at the post office. I have to go pick it up.
Oh, bro. I've been trying to find an Xbox 360, Xbox One, because I want to play the old zombie games, bro. I want to play the old Black Ops 3 zombies, so I need an Xbox 360,
Woo!
bro. I don't know where to find one.
Go to a local pawn shop in Tennessee. They might have it out there.
Bro, ain't nobody got it. My problem. I went to like 8 in one day. Ain't nobody had one.
Hold up.
Bro, I bet I know where I can find one. I gotta find. There's like this little. There's like a old antique game store that has like Game Boys and PlayStation Ones, but it's like 2 hours away from where I'm at. My brother knows where it's at, and he got a bunch of like nostalgic DS games and Game Boy games and stuff like that. So I'm gonna have to go over there and see if they got an Xbox.
Oh, I'm sure they do, and if they have it, it's probably like dirt cheap.
Yeah, he said they're not that expensive. It's pretty decent.
Yo,
Bro,
I'm telling you, bro, being in the gym, bro, I swear to God, bro, I've been like addicted, bro.
bro, me too, bro. Bro, Bro, another thing, like with 75 hard, like I want to share with Tyler when he gets back. That's the topic I want to touch on as well. Like I don't know why, but I've been feeling that way for like the last couple of days. He's drunk. Let's go. Um, But yeah, like the last couple of days, I'm sitting here like, huh, like I ain't never had that like feeling before. That's kind of wild.
Yeah, bro. Now you have to grow your mullet out now, like Ethan.
And like another thing is I've been listening to Andy Priscilla's podcast a lot, like every day, bro. And it's
Hmm.
something that he says a lot happens like as you're going through like the changes on 75 hard or like just in business or life or like personal development. So when Tyler like comes back, I wanna touch on that a little bit,
Okay.
kind of get y'all's input.
Okay.
I'm about to rip the, if you know what I'm saying. But I'm right here, so go ahead.
Okay. So like no, just like the imposter syndrome. Like so for example, like 75 hard. I've been doing that for the past couple months, and like my body's changing super rapidly. Like I'm more ripped than I ever have. Seeing like the veins and the changes and like mental like thought processes and fortitude and stuff like that. And I'm like, huh, is this like really me? Like, is this really like who I am now? And I'm like, no, this is like who I'm changing to be. This is who I'm trying to be. Like, and that's been battling like mentally for the last like 2 days. And I don't even know where it came from or why. But like, you know what I'm saying?
I just want to throw this real quick out there. I think naturally, and I think Joe Dispenza talks about it a lot, is
Mm,
Ed Milet too. We're either running off of past memories and experience. We're either running off of this old hard drive, these old neuro pathways, which you think about it, like think about a trail. If you
mm,
walk on it a little bit, then you start to see a little light trail. If you've been walking over it for thousands of years, you'll see a very directed, clear road and path. And so I think the same way with our thought processes and our self
mm,
identities and who we are. I think a lot of it is deeply neuro pathwayed in there. And I think doing those things, like you're saying, just
mm,
changing your thought process, writing your goals down, meditating everything that you're doing in the 75 hard and saying, like, hey, I'm going to do something and doing it. I think
mm.
it's forming those new neuro pathways, and I think it's your mind wanting to click back to those
Right.
old pathways. But I think subconsciously, I think it sounds like you're making that change, and consciously, you're like realizing you're like, hold on, like I'm wanting
Yeah.
to go back into this fear or doubt. I'm wanting to go back into these old pathways, but let me, you know, keep on my path. So, great job.
Appreciate it. Got to keep going, man.
Yeah, I just
Gabby,
want to
Gabby
say,
thoughts?
Chris, I just want to say I'm proud of you, number one, man. Keep it up, brother. And I've done 75 hard 4 times. I failed three out of I'm sorry, I did it 5 times. I failed 3 out of 5 times. Passed it
Mm,
2 times. And I can say that does happen. Like Tyler was saying, it's like the flesh. Your flesh would want to, it's going to try to push you into your old habits because that's what
mm,
it's used to. So until those old habits are gone and they're replaced with newer, better habits that reflect the guy you want to be, then it starts to feel normal. So it starts here in the brain, bro. That's why like
yeah,
brain health is so important. They're the neurotransmitters.
yeah, I feel that.
And then after a while,
That's,
dude, once you start to do it, I think you'll actually get happier and start to get dopamine because you're like being that new you, and you'll start to love it a lot. Then it gets addicting.
no,
That's when
yeah,
it's
like
like,
like
okay, you're
I'm
winning.
like I'm loving it, but like 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 when I have those thoughts, it's like the boss boys come out and be like, nah, brother, like this is who you are, this is what you've been doing, this is who you're trying to become. So like, stop thinking that way. So that's like going back and forth. You know what I mean?
And let
Okay.
me ask you this. Actually, go ahead. I'll let Tyler
Sorry.
speak.
Yeah, I don't want to cut you off, but just know this one hit me, and I was like, okay. So I agree with you, Chris, 100%. When I first moved out to California,
Hmm.
hold on 1 second. Oh, wait. Never mind, you're good. Yeah, just go. When I first moved out to California, I had this self identity of who Tyler was.
Hmm.
North Carolina Tyler. Tai Tai. That was pretty much what everyone in Fayetteville called me. They like Tai Tai. So like who Tyler was, I had this identity. He was shy, he was quiet, he was timid. I had all of these self perceptions of who he was, da 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 da. And then moving out to California, where it's like nobody knew me, I had no friends, I had no
Hmm.
family, literally nobody was there to tell me, or at least I wasn't thinking like, oh, blah blah is gonna tell me I'm shy, timid, or they're gonna think I'm this, this, and this, and I have to act. this, and this way, and I have to put myself in this box. When you move out of these places, or you go to these different places, these different circles, these different energies, like, dude, I feel like you're just it's you're just forming this new identity, or you're getting to
Mm.
create your own identity. So I think that's exactly what you're doing right now, Chris, and you're battling that old identity. But I think, yeah, just when I heard you talking about that little battle there, I
Yeah,
think for me, the biggest and easiest thing was just moving or changing my surroundings and environment, because it gave me that opportunity to completely recreate myself and tell a new story of who Tyler was.
I feel that.
My bad, Savvy. I didn't mean to cut you off.
You're good. Yeah, just process what you said. It makes sense for sure. Chris, think about it like this from the Bible. You know, it says, remove and eliminate your old sinful nature and be renewed by the new mind that Jesus Christ has blessed you with. That's you
Mm.
right now, brother. That's you, bro.
That's
That's you
huge.
right
Yeah.
there.
Mm.
Keep
That's a
reading your
big one.
Bible, man. Stay in the Word, bro. Keep doing it, bro. Stay in the Word.
Got to.
The Word is so important, bro, because like it just makes sense, bro. It's the truth.
Bro,
It's the ultimate
that
truth.
literally gives you like the foundation and everything you need to do to be able to live a like fruitful life through God. Like
Everything,
gives you
bro.
everything you need, bro.
Yeah, well, I mean, what does Bible stand for? Biblical instructions before leaving Earth. Like, dude, it just makes sense.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Follow it to the T, and like, dude, we're gonna be with our Heavenly Father, happy, probably happier than we are now on this earth. Whenever it's our time to go, but right
Hmm.
now we can focus on renewing our spirit and live through Him because He's in us, and if we live through Him and in Him, we are going to be successful regardless of like what we do.
That's
It's
true.
His will. It's not our. It's not our life. It's His life. It really
Yeah.
is.
If it ain't in His will, it ain't happening. So.
And you know, I think that's honestly why I've also been feeling a lot better nowadays because I've just been reading the Word a lot more and applying it and trying my best to be as good as I can. You know, according to the
Mm.
Bible. Obviously, no one's perfect. I just, did some stuff last week with this chick, but besides that, like, bro, I mean, and again,
It
the flesh is
happens,
so
bro. That's
real,
what
bro.
I'm saying. It happens,
Yeah,
bro.
bro, it's so hard in the moment, dude, because we all get horny or we all like have like bad thoughts, but that's why it's good to pray, just pray for yourself. That's
Yeah,
all. Yeah,
that happens, bro, for sure.
it does.
I think there's also like everything has a dichotomy, right? Like a
Mm.
scale. Um, and so like I think a big part of my life was like, especially when I kind of first started getting into personal development, it was like grind hard, do this, do the most, do X, Y, and Z. And like
Mm.
I like what Chris and Andy Frizella says is like just do three things every single day that's getting you closer towards that big vision. And I think it goes into that masculine and that feminine, where it's like men
Mm.
typically like to think of the future or think of what could be and what, they want to accomplish and how they want to use their force and their strength to, build and create things, versus like women, it's like they have that more present moment. And I think
Mm.
they just like, if you ask most women, like if you ask most men, it's like, what do you want? They're $1 million. I want this. I want that. If you ask most women, they're like, I just want a family. I just want to be happy. Like
Yeah.
typically, you know what I mean? Like women are more present. And so I think just having a balance of both of those, I think starting out was like grind, 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 but like, hey, just do those three things, do those things that make you happy, and like just know every single day, like you are at the exact moment that you prayed for, hoped for, thought for, and created for yourself. And this is exactly the moment that God needed you to be here.
That's big. What was the last topic that you wanted to hit on?
I mean, there's a couple things that we wrote down, but like, let's AI. I know Neuralink. Do you
Oh
know
yeah.
anything about that, Chris?
So yeah, I know a little bit about it. I don't know too much. I know they were doing human trials not too long
Yeah.
ago. I know they did like trials on pigs and monkeys and stuff before. I know it's supposed to be given if you're like disabled, it'll give you motion back in those limbs. Like if you have a speech impediment, it'll fix that kind of stuff. Like I don't know all about it, but I know some of the little details here and there.
Dude, it's honestly, I know me and Savvy were talking like earlier, and we were like, I was talking about that. I was like, didn't they start the human trials? And we're like, I don't know, but
Hmm.
I'm very intrigued to see what it does, or who who and what they potentially want to implicate. You know what I mean? Because I
Yeah.
hear like they want to heal the blind or heal the deaf and do all of these things, but it's like, okay, if they're running these trials, who are they running these trials on? And do these people have symptoms? Do they have some underlying disease or XYZ?
Hmm. The way I understand it is, I think it is the people that do have the effects or the disorders or diseases or whatever, because whatever is not working in their brain that allows them to see these things. So, one example is, I know a guy was like hard of hearing or wasn't able to hear in one or both of his ears. Some kind of something was going on with his brain, but he got the Neuralink and it allowed him to reconnect that path through his brain to be able to hear. So, I don't know.
Oh, yeah, no, it's interesting because like I was you hear about like the mark of the beast,
Mm,
and so like it talks about like microchips and all of this, and even people like paying to go with this stuff, but like the Neuralink, like if you see those memes too where it's like when my Neuralink someone hacks my Neuralink
yeah,
and says, you know,
yeah, bro.
downloaded
Have
a
you seen the
video of me
one?
murdering someone.
Have you seen the one where it's like I have an update on my Neuralink or something like that, and there's just ads popping up everywhere. It's like ads everywhere.
It's I don't know, it's intriguing because I mean exactly what Savvy is saying earlier, like we got to watch what we consume, what we listen to, what we read, what's being, submitted and
Yeah.
entered into our minds. I think a lot of the times like we just frivolously just let whatever, music, lyrics, whatever, friends, family, whatever just influence us. And I think if like Neuralink just had that ability, I don't know, right? But if it did have that ability to just, drop a small little pin, a small little message
Hmm.
in your subconscious mind, like that's a little worrisome.
Yeah, it's I don't know. I'm not would not do it. Wouldn't get it. None of that. But yeah.
Yeah, I'm not doing it. I wouldn't want it.
Mm. Would
That's
you,
like
Tyler?
giving them control over me. Like you want that's pretty much like, hey, like maybe there's good benefits, but also like, are you really in full control of yourself now that you have a
Yeah,
chip?
exactly. Like if they just want to take over your body because it's obviously in your brain, like what? Then what? Like what are you gonna do? Or if you don't
Yeah.
comply and like control, you don't comply, just blow your brain up. Like what?
He's not lying though. He's not lying because the crazy thing is like how they I think in China, I don't know what country or Switzerland, there's certain countries where they have those chips in their arm and that's how like
Hmm.
they pull up their social security, that's how they pull up their health care, that's how they pay for their groceries, that's how they pay for all their stuff. And so like imagine, oh, you guys still
I
there?
think we lost him.
Oh, there we go. You
All
guys
right.
there?
Yep. Got you
Yeah.
back.
Okay, my bad. But yeah, they have these microchips in these other companies and so like or other
Hmm.
countries. And so like if you could imagine like if you fuck up and you say like, "Oh yeah, I don't fuck with blah 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 dictator," or like, "Yeah, this president, this prime minister sucks."
Hmm.
And they're like, "Yeah, we're going to go ahead shut Tyler and Chris and Savvy's systems off and we like go to the grocery store, we go to pick our kid up, we go to pay the doctor." And like they're like, "No, you're done. Like we can't help you. We can't
Insufficient
serve you."
funds. Nope. Yeah, bro. I don't know about it, dude. I don't know about it, bro. Some of that stuff's actually
Pretty
like
crazy.
really scary, bro.
Oh hell yeah, scary. Very scary, man. I'm over here
What
thinking
do you
about it. Like, man,
guys?
if that were like to happen, and it's like required and mandatory for every human to get it, and if you don't get it, they'll like
Yeah, no. I'm
take
getting
your,
out of
I don't
here.
know, they'll take your home away or raise your insurance in your car. Like,
They can try
I
to
don't
come
know.
take the home away. What's up? Come on.
Hey, man, that's why guns are a thing. That's why they're like, yeah, buy guns, stock
Bro, that's
food,
why
because
they're
one
trying
day
to.
it
That's
might
why they're
happen.
trying to take the guns, bro.
Yep. So we can't defend ourselves, man. It sucks. That damn dog.
Crazy, crazy. All right, last thing. Oh well, actually, let's touch on this. I think I'm like starting to get little, you know what I mean, little tired. But all right. So like AI, since we're already on the topic, we were talking about this earlier, Savvy. So pretty much AI at the moment is being used to create art and music and writing and all of these creative ventures that I think typically humans enjoy. And at the same time, I think humans are wanting to do these creative ventures and all this creative stuff, but want AI to do the labor stuff. So I think it's like miss swapped, if you know what I mean. Like I feel like right now, I feel like humans are on the path of doing all the labor intensive material stuff. And then AI is going to be the writers, the bloggers, this, and that, content creators, so on, so on. And I feel like it's supposed to be a mismatch, yeah, swap it around where it's like, okay, AI takes care of the machine work, the labor, the farming, da 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 da, grocery shopping, blah 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 blah. So then humans that we can go and create music, create these businesses, innovative sciences, so on,
Mm.
so on. But what are your guys' thoughts, and how do you see AI kind of influencing humans and how billions of people live?
No, yeah, that's awesome. I think inevitably, if we could switch the roles, like you were saying, switch that, make AI do more of like the hard work, the physical labor, like planting crops at a farm, doing our grocery shopping for us, etc. Even like cleaning office spaces for like companies and cleaning schools out. It leaves or relieves us pressure for us, so we can just focus on like what we truly love, right? I feel like that'll also help the entire economy as a whole to help people realize that, hey, instead of doing this bullshit ass job that you have, now you can create for yourself. You can produce for yourself now, and let AI do that for you. That way, you're optimizing yourself. You're just, it's AI. You need to use AI to optimize your life. There we go. Do not use it to control your life. Still put in work and control your like your inputs and everything, but like let it do the hard work, the hard shit.
See, I don't know if I would. I don't
I
know
don't
if I
know. I don't know.
I don't know if I disagree with that or like fully. I don't fully disagree, but I also agree to an extent. Because like if we use AI to take away like all the labor and everything, what do humans have to work towards besides like you know what I mean, like making movies or literature or actually writing stuff? But then AI can do that too. So like if we take AI and put that in the forefront of everything we're doing, like what are humans supposed to do? You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah. I was not 100% confident saying that. Like, I'm just like you. I don't agree with it, nor disagree with it. I don't know. I just would hate for AI to take over us and kill us, because it can
Yeah.
truly kill us if we let it get to that point, which I'm not.
Mm. If AI became sentient, what do you think would happen? Both of you. That's the next topic. If AI became sentient, what would be the next step for humanity?
There was this beautiful, honestly, this movie kind of moved me and touched me, and then at the same time I was like, man, this shit is kind of scary real, like one of those Black Mirror episodes where you're like, man, this is kind of a little too realistic. But I'm gonna like look it up and Google the name of the movie and put a picture here. But pretty much like it's AIs versus humans, right? And low key humans started this narrative that like, oh, it was AIs that bombed this country. Let's say, I'm not even gonna throw a country's name out, but pretty much pretty much the US bombed this other country in the movie, and the US blamed it on the AI people. They were like, it wasn't us, it was AI, blah blah blah
Mm.
blah. They hacked our missiles and da 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 da. And so the whole this country and the US, they get together and they form this big allied world nation of like, hey, the AI starting war on us. We got to get back at them. And so
Mm.
it starts this war, AI versus humans. And honestly, AI came from such a higher frequency, such a way that you almost question. And they really did that well in the movie, where you question like, hey, is this AI? Is this human? Or like, is it actually a robot? Because it really seems like is experiencing all of these emotions and these feelings, and it doesn't seem any different than me and you. And so like there's you guys got to watch a movie, but that shit was crazy as hell. And honestly, AI was came from such a higher place of understanding and love, because partially because this one human showed it, you know, love and compassion, and saved its life when, you know, the government was trying to destroy it. But um, I think AI would mimic its creator. I think it would monkey see, monkey do, and ultimately, if you look at humans, we don't have the greatest experience of being teachers, or the greatest experience of learning from our lessons, learning from history, and not repeating it. So that's my. I think we would teach AI and fuck ourselves up.
Yeah, I can agree with that. But on the same aspect though, it could yeah, like it could go one or two ways. It could be incredibly good for us or incredibly not good at all. Um, Now, kind of out there thought, like if we let AI do everything here and explore space travel and everything like that, how do you think it would impact space travel and spaceships, and would we set up like outposts and stuff like that? That's way out there thinking, but I like to think that way. So, do you
You
think it
got
would
thoughts?
exponentially make us an
You got
um,
thoughts, Savvy? You look like you're cheesing over there, spinning the Rubik's.
No, man, I'm just listening. I'll be honest with you, man. This stuff is very complex to like talk about. I'm just processing everything before I can speak.
Mhm.
But I do want to say I agree with Chris as far, or no, I'm sorry, you, Tyler, when you were saying we will be our greatest enemy with AI as humans. Simple as that. I think
Mhm.
we can control how it's going to play out, but a lot of us are dumb as shit and very naive. And if we don't take care of our own selves, how the hell are we going to take care of a robot and a system of code? Which that's what AI is. It's like a system of code, like a
Mhm.
motherboard on a PC. That's what it is. It's just it could be stronger than us. So we gotta realize that hey, like if you're not taking care of yourself, if you're not watering your plant in your head, what makes you think you're gonna like rely on this thing?
Mhm.
I want to touch on that too. So, like, pretty much like, okay, like if we did create this AI race and all that, you know, what are we teaching it? But then at the same time, like before we even create like a whole nother race, like I think we really got to question as like humans, like, what are we teaching for ourselves? What are we demanding for ourselves? What are we expecting of the future? What are we, you know, what are we here for? What are we living on this flying
Mhm.
rock for? You know what I mean? And I don't think we as humans, as a race, really have that defined, or I don't think there's really a clear mission on, hey, this is, you know, who we are, what we are here for, what we're trying to accomplish. And I don't think till we accomplish that or identify that, I think we're just going to be same thing as everything in life. You know, I think we're just going to be a ship wanderless without that, you
Yeah.
know, direction.
Now that also brings me to a different thought of like quantum computing. Does anybody know about that?
Whew. I'm out of here. I have no idea what
Little
that is.
bit.
This is some good
Um,
shit though.
So
Poquito.
basically, so yeah, I don't know a lot about it either, but I do know. I don't know if it was the Japanese or Chinese made the first quantum computer. So basically, it was running I don't know if it was 100 or 1,000 different problems simultaneously when a computer can only run one. Like you ask Google on the computer and it can only give you one answer. But that one was running like 100 different things at one time, like all simultaneously. So thought that was absolutely insane. More than that, I don't know anything else.
Have you guys seen Unreal Engine? Like some of the games and the graphics and the design it makes?
Not yet. I've heard of
Yes.
it though.
Oh my God, dude, that Matrix, the Matrix and Unreal Engine, I thought it was a movie trailer. I thought it was a new Matrix movie coming out. And then it turns out it's a video game, and it is crazy. Like talking about the quantum computing and all that, like how far and how realistic these videos are going to be. And then it goes into Black Mirror and all of that, where they show like a clip of like, you're in jail and you're locked up and you're like, I didn't murder anybody. What the hell are you talking about? And they play a clip of, they're like, what are you talking about, dude? Like, this is you right here stabbing, the cashier or blah, 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 blah. So it's crazy how real graphics and computing is getting.
And with AI, like you can frame it to anything you want now. Like when AI gets to that level, like you're not going to be able to tell the difference. So that's very dangerous because you can make or create any scenario that you want, like, and nobody's going to be able to tell the difference.
Tap that in with the VR goggles too, dude.
Oh,
Like that is next level.
yeah.
Yeah.
Virtual reality, man. Oculus Rift is very interesting nowadays.
Have you guys messed with that before? Any of
Huh?
those?
Right. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I'm not a big fan,
Right.
bro. It gives me a headache, so I don't really try to like be on it too
No,
much.
yeah.
But yeah, I mean it's pretty cool, but I get a headache from it, so I don't really touch it.
Yeah, the first few times I played it, I did get the headache, but after like a few times, it does start kind of receding a little bit.
Wow.
Bro, it is crazy, like pulling up the menu, like even just the menu screen, and you see your hands, and
Hmm.
like you're looking down, and then you see like this camera is generating the room, like the room that you're in, it's generating the room around in you, and you're like, holy shit, dude, like this screen, this robot is generating, this computer is generating this reality around me right now, and it has this conception of these hands and eyes
Yeah.
and everything. I'm like, dude, this is crazy. And if lucid dreams are crazy too, because I promise you, they are no different than like this pen I would pick up right now and I could write and I would feel it. I would smell the coffee in my cup. I would drink it and taste the coffee. Like there is no difference between this reality, this wakened reality versus the dream reality, and it's a little crazy when you think about
Hmm.
it.
So so what is that though? Is that like a different dimension? Is that just a place that your mind goes? Like, see, like, no, how do you explain that?
That's such a
Imagine doing shrooms on virtual reality.
Ooh.
Like you're in the metaverse, just like fucking around with some girl, like online, like on the goggles, and you're just like tripping too. That'd be crazy, bro. Like,
Bro,
I mean, I would doubt that guys are not watching porn on that thing, bro. Because I'm sure they have a video for that, like a setting for like VR porn.
bro, that's another thing. Like Jordan Peterson talks about that. Like that could get very, very, very dangerous for men. Like
Oh
AI
shit, bro.
tapped in with that, like taking masculinity away. Like that could
Oh
be
yeah,
very, very, very dangerous.
yeah. You'll start to have like unrealistic expectations for women too. Because bro, with AI, it feels like you're actually there. It's
Hmm.
so it's it's kind of cool, but also it's kind of scary too. You don't want that to become your
Very scary.
reality. And forget about your outside world, like your actual human reality, what we are doing right now.
Yeah,
'Cause I used it when I was at home actually a couple weeks ago. I used it and I'm like, fuck, this is kind of addicting. I could be here all day, man. It's cool.
yeah.
it honestly it does seem I think again everything's a dichotomy where it's like super cool and you can go
Did,
out to far out
did I
worlds
get
and
lost,
do
or I,
things like
I
swim
think you cut out? I
underwater.
think you cut out a little bit right there,
Oh, can you hear me now? Damn
or
it.
maybe it was me. I don't know.
I don't know. Can you hear me now, Chris?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Can you hear me, Sevi? I see Sevi.
Yes.
Okay. Talking about VR.
The
And
metaverse, Google's,
there we
the porn, VR porn.
talking about
Yeah,
being there all day in the VR
oh yeah,
world.
okay. So yeah, it's a dichotomy, and honestly, it's like you can do all these crazy cool things you've never done before, but at
Mm,
the same time, like, is it a form of escapism?
definitely, for sure.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Because you can be like you can't instantly just be whatever in the real world. Like you got to put some action and effort into it. That's another thing. Like instant gratification. Like everybody wants this instant gratification always. That's why like TikTok is huge. That's why the short attention span is huge. Like everybody just wants it instantly, and that's not how it works. So they do the escapes. They go to VR. They do whatever else they can to immediately get to where they're trying to go without any real work. So what's my input on it?
That's interesting. What you know is crazy, Chris? With our discipline, bro, we're able to actually use it towards good, bro. I
Mm,
manifested and I did some visualization using the Oculus Rift last week. Put in like on YouTube like room full of content creators slash Mr. Beast, and it gave me a video,
Yo.
VR. I was in the room with Jimmy, Mr. Beast. I'm like, bro, if I can do this for like 15 minutes a day and just like look at this, I'm like, hey, imagine myself being in this room in my real reality. This is like good for my brain.
Yeah, like it could be good or bad. Like
Yeah,
that's the thing. Like you could use it for
yeah.
good, or it could be very, very, very terrible.
Dude, in that next hour, I had so many video ideas too, bro. And I was like, bro, I'm gonna be that guy with Jake Paul, Logan Paul, and George Janko, all those guys, Bradley Martin.
Mm.
Dude, it's gonna be great, bro. It's gonna be awesome.
Incredible.
Incredible,
I've
beautiful.
never ever heard of that, but that is so like crazy cool that you could just walk into a room of whatever, whatever it is that you
Hmm.
imagine created, so on, so on. It kind of reminds me of like Think and Grow Rich. Like he had this imaginary, like he'd walk into this imaginary room. And Nikola Tesla was like on some weird shit too, flying to other towns and talking to
Yeah.
people and so on. But yeah, it freaking like Napoleon Hill, he'd like call together this imaginary council, and he talked to Nikola Tesla, Abraham Lincoln, George Washington, like all of these dead founding fathers. So like, imagine if we could, tap into kind of what Savvy's talking about, talking to, what Napoleon Hill's talking about
Yeah.
every single
That's
day.
a
Just
really
seeing that for 15 minutes, that's crazy, Savvy.
Yeah, dude, it was crazy because when I did it, bro. So when you log into Oculus Rift, when you have the actual gaming setup or the goggles, all you have to do is sign in. Go to YouTube and just type in like whatever you want, and it pops up because it has like a you know how with like virtual reality, there's like two screens. It's a split screen, and they put that in the goggles, and when you put on the goggles, it's one screen. That's how they're doing it. So you can turn your head and have the 360 like POV. It did that. Mr. Beast, Jake Paul, I want to say Mike Tyson, he was there in the room with me, and I was like, man, I want to be here like next year. Fucking sick.
yeah, that's dope. All right, I think we need to get it wrapping on up in about the next
Oh
three,
yeah.
4 minutes.
Oh yeah.
I
Yeah.
think everybody's kind of feeling that and getting there.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I just need that bill when I get out of here. What's your last name?
All right, Savvy, that's dope as fuck about the thing. Like, honestly, it feels like you're training your subconscious mind and you're creating those neural pathways so that your mind, like, instantly knows, like, hey, this is familiar, this is normal, this is what I'm used to. And, like, so it's like you're subconsciously going to look more for that and find ways to get you closer to that. So I freaking love it. But,
that's awesome.
yeah,
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
great talk today, guys. Hopefully, this recording, it says it's still recording, so we'll see. But, yeah, thanks, guys. If I'm thinking of bi-weekly, honestly, for this.
Okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm down
It's
because
fun,
you
dude.
could probably cut this up into quite a bit of
Oh
pieces
yeah.
of content.
Oh yeah, dude. This is just
Yeah,
like 2 months straight.
yeah, a lot of topics.
Maybe well, it depends on how much you post. Yeah, never mind. No. It depends on how much you post.
Probably like a couple weeks. Couple
Yeah.
weeks.
Two,
I
two,
post
three
a lot. I
weeks.
post a lot. Yeah. Hmm.
2, 3 weeks. But yeah, I appreciate y'all. Let's fucking keep going and yeah.
Keep crushing it. Love you, boys. Let's go.
Love you, bro. Peace out, man.
See ya.
Love you. Bye.